Dude, back again, once again, for another fantasy football mock draft. And today we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to go right in the middle. My least favorite draft position. But, as we get closer and closer to the heart of the season, we're really going to ramp up the output on this channel. So, if you enjoyed these videos, consider leaving a like. Think about leaving a comment. And if you would really like, please subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. With that being said, let's get right into the draft. Yes, please. All right. So the sleeper ADP finally did something correct. They chose the most likely um, the first five picks. So we can go in a few different directions. So this is full PPR. If you've watched my other videos, you understand that I like to mock to the format. And you're gonna have to mock to your league settings as well, but it's full PPR. I like to go wide receiver. I'm gonna do a tad bit of a reach. I'm gonna go Amon-Ra St. Brown here. Amon-Ra he has been a staple of consistency. He's often overlooked because he doesn't tend to be as flashy as some of the bigger upside picks, like maybe like a CD Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Devon A. Chan, but he's been wide receiver three for the past, I believe, 3 years. I think he had one injury last year. All things considered, he's a great pick. And in the first round, if I were to get the sixth spot, this would be an easy smash. He's immensely talented. Yes, it's easy to sort of make up wide receiver production because there's so many talented wide receivers in the pool. Nico Pickens, Olave, AJ Brown, Rashi Rice, T. McMillan, Garrett. I mean, the first few rounds are just filled with talent. But it's full PPR. He catches so many passes. I mean, let's look at 2025. I mean, 6, 11, 8, 7, 9, 10, 10, 13, 8, 12, 12, 13, 9. I think he got injured here. 18. 18 targets. Unbelievable. 18. He went 18 and 13. I mean, that's insane. 18, 13, and 2? Crazy. And that's good. That was good for what? 41 points? Something like that? Yeah. I mean, truly, truly insane. So, Amon Ra, smash pick. Great as an anchor in full PPR. The other picks, don't like Jonathan Taylor in the first round in this format just because he doesn't catch a lot of passes, and who knows what that offense is going to look like with Danny Dimes recovering from an Achilles injury. James Cook, I like. A little bit of volatility here with Josh Allen, and just he's had back to back incredible years. His workload has increased. So a little nervous there. Jay Jettis has quarterback issues. I like CeeDee Lamb. I think he's a great value at 11. Would have taken CeeDee Lamb probably before JT. Christian McCaffrey, it's tough because much like James Cook, he's 4 years older and his workload has just been insane. But if they do start to convert him more into like a slot wide receiver, I think he'll be really, really good. And then Genti I love, Hampton, we'll see. Drake London I love. Kenny Walker I'm not sold on, but I like here in the second. Devon A. Chan I would have taken over Kenny Walker. Love Devon A. Chan. They just paid him 4 years, $65 million. Great deal. Saquon I think is going to have a bounce back. And Trey McBride I like a lot. So here I think Neighbors I'm a little bit nervous just talking about this knee injury. I think as we really start to draft in August and September, we'll find out more. Right now, I think I'm going to pass on Neighbors, but I think he would be a really good value here once you sort of anchor in your position. Pickens, Nico, I like. Nico, I think, is really good, but I'm just a little bit nervous with this Texans offense altogether. Um, I've sort of talked about my hesitancy to take someone like Jeremiah Love because they're a rookie. They're going to acclimate. It's not really what I want to do here. I do think he's probably the best value, though. You could say Nico. I mean, Neighbors will probably go here. He shouldn't, but he probably will. I think here I'll just take Jeremiah Love. Nico, there's Neighbors. If that hits, if he is ready for week one, this would be a great start. I mean, this is a really good start. Um, I think I'm gonna go Tet. I think Tet's gonna have. I think Bryce is underrated. He's not amazing, but I think he can have a pretty good QB2 season. I was talking to my friend today. I think if Bryce were to go, throw for, 32, 33, 3,400 yards, have like 25 touchdowns, and then rush for like 7, 8 touchdowns, he'd be a really good value. With that being said, there is quite a bit of competition in Carolina, but they don't really have a good tight end room. Who knows about Chris Brazel? Jalen Coker is good, and Xavier Leggett is a nothing burger. I think this is going to be an easy Tetaroa McMillan. Josh Allen went really late, really good value. It is one QB, so you can punt, probably get better value at quarterback a little bit later. All right. So, I mean, I think Devontae's good. I like Ladd, Zay. I think these are really good. I like Devonta Smith a lot. Um, Not really loving a lot of these running backs outside of Quinshawn. I do love Quinshawn. I think it's a little early to take Quinshawn here. Could take Colston Loveland. I think I'm just going to punt, you know. Who knows? I think he's really good, but I just want to see, I mean, he finished the season. When did he play Cincinnati? They played Cincinnati week 9, and then he went 4, 4, 5, 6, 5, 5, 5, 10, and then 13. In tight end premium, that was pretty good, obviously. And in that time, he did score 4 touchdowns in Cincinnati. So, I think in the fourth, it's just like a little rich. I do think he is going to be good. I kind of like Tyler Warren just a tad better. I think here, I like Devontae. I like Zay. I don't know. I'm really into Zay Flowers. I think Zay's gonna be really good. I just got a feeling he might be one of those guys. Yeah, I'm not really into Travion, Joe Burrow. Really not into any of these guys. Maybe Jalen Hurts, Jane Daniels. I'd be into. I do like Devontae though. I think this is going to be like the last ride. It is full PPR. He does. I mean, Staff throws a lot of balls. He is getting older, but I think his game is going to age very well. Yeah. I mean, they didn't really draft anyone. I mean, they got Max Clare, but as for additional wide receivers, nothing. Yeah, I mean, look at all these targets. 13, 8, 6, 11, 9, 8, 7, 8, 8, 8. Yeah. I'm going to smash Devontae. Going to be a little older, but I think he's pretty good. He's going to be pretty good here if he repeats sort of 2025 going into 2026. All right. Here, oh my God. Love Emeka Ibuka. Really good. Quinshawn is here, though. Quinshawn, I think I've been drafting a lot of Quinshawn, really not understanding it with Bashal Tutin, the hype that is, but I am seeing a lot of hype around Quinshawn and just sort of his recovery from injury. Who knows what that team is going to look like? They have so many pass catchers. Their backfield is like a little muddy, but I think we take Quinshawn and we sort of lock in our RBs, and then we look at some wide receiver value. Because funny enough, I think running back, we always talk, a common discussion in the fantasy space is the running back dead zone. I do think the dead zone it's probably a little shorter this year. Quinshawn honestly might be part of it, but like I'm not really into Hendo, Scat, Harvey, Warren, Monty Swift, Tootin. Javante I kind of like. But like outside of Quinshawn, I'm not really like super thrilled about drafting any of those guys. Javante's had injury history. Travion popped off when Ramondre was out, and he was dealing with some fumbling issues. And then he was sort of forgotten about in the playoffs. Cam Scattaboo's coming back from an injury. RJ Harvey was able to be a bell cow in when J.K. Dobbins went down, but he wasn't that efficient. Uh, Jalen Warren with Rico Dowdle, they drafted that 7th round pick from from the Navy, Eli Hendrick. Plus they have Caleb Johnson. I think this guy could just be, he's a little bit older. He could be replaced. I think he's good maybe in full PPR, which we are in, but other than that, I don't feel too happy drafting him. Montgomery, I like. I think he's going to be good, but he is older. They're on the Texans. Are the Texans going to churn their offense? Are they just going to be a game managing team and then let their defense win? Who knows? Bashal Toon is a complete question mark. A lot of people like him. With ETN's departure, they think that he's just going to go right into being that guy, which he could be. I mean, he doesn't really catch a lot of passes. That's why they have LaQuint Allen. He was out for a few games, and he just wasn't particularly efficient. But, I mean, look at that. 3.65, 3, 3, 1, 7, but that's on 2 carries. 4 on 5 carries is decent. This 8 for 42 for 5.25 a carry is decent. 3.2, 1.25, 4.93 is not bad, especially with 15 carries. I think that's pretty good. So, really just not too efficient. But I don't mind him here in the 6th when you're looking for more upside. With that being said, it's pretty late. I think I've been going a lot of Rome with Dunze. I'm just going to continue to go Rome. There's really no need to deviate from there. I think in the 6th round, this is really good value for the last of the Bears pass catchers. I think Burden has the worst value. Loveland is not bad, and Rome easily has the best. And if he hits, that's all you're looking for. I mean, in these middle rounds, probably from 5 to probably the start of 10, you're just looking for, I mean, really 5 to the end of the draft, you're looking for value, but from 5 to 10, you're looking for guys that are maybe considered or drafted as 2s and 3s that could ascend to being 1s, right? That could ascend to being in this tier, these tiers right here. Maybe these guys, right? So, in here at 6, if he were to ascend to like here, or even what is it like late here, that's an incredible value. So, continuing on, QB, like Jackson Dart, I like Justin Herbert. I think Herbert's going to have a really good year with Mike McDaniel. I think Sam Laporta is going to be really good. Actually, I'll happily take Laporta if he were to come back. I think someone will snatch him up before that. Yep. That's pretty sad. Yeah, now I'm not really loving a lot of these tight end. You know what? Okay. Okay. Let's do. So I like Ricky Pearsall. I think Parker Washington I went last time. So we just take a look at the roster. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have through my flex, and then I want someone with like high upside. I like Ricky Pearsall. I like Parker Washington, but I also like Wandale. I think Wandale, you know, 12, 11. I'm just looking at targets. I think he could be a nice safety blanket for for Cam Ward. So I'm gonna go Wandale here. It's a little bit of a reach. I don't think he was gonna come back to me. Parker Washington I really like. Ricky Pearsall I like too. But I went them like last draft. Brock Purdy, this makes me sad. That's what happens when you're drafting in the 6th spot. You get sniped. I would have loved to get Brock Purdy, but I think there's some really good running. There's some really good options here. All right, so let's do Goff, and then let's get to the title of this video, which I'm gonna call, if we get him, is the Jadarian Price right? So Jadarian Price is a very not polarizing, pick, but he's someone that he's someone that was a lot of people considered reach for by the Seahawks. But there's a lot of things to like about him, right? He was playing second fiddle to Jeremiah Love, which is ironic because we drafted his teammate. He did have an Achilles injury early in his college career, and he's going to a wide open backfield. In the 10th for Jadarian Price, I think that's a smash, right? Because these are going to be guys 10 to 15 that you more often than not churn anyway. Like maybe you don't want to really churn Jadarian Price, but if we're in week 9, right, he's not really doing anything. He's sitting on your bench. He's getting 6 to 8 points. He's not very flex worthy. He's getting a touchdown every now and then. You just churn him. But I think there's a lot to like about him. We'll see how it translates to the Seahawks backfield. But right now, in the 10th, let's go. Is the Jadarian Price right? I think it is. And then now let's get chiggy with it. Let's get chiggy with it. Let's get Chig Okonkwo. Oh, Okonkwo. Yeah, I think he got a nice little 3-year deal, probably a 2-year deal from Washington. I think he's going to be probably pretty good. In the 11th, no big deal. I mean, there's other tight ends I like too. AJ Barner, I think, could be suited. Hawk, I think Hawk could be a really great bounce back candidate. Probably should have went Hawk over Chig, but it is what it is. Mason Taylor I like because the league is moving to 12, 13 personnel, so more tight ends are going on the field. He was drafted in the second round. It could have been, it ironically could be a Michael Mayer situation because they have Kenyon Sadiq, whereas Sadiq went here. I think that would be pretty good. Terrence Ferguson, Gunnar Helm, if you really are into the Titans offense. I don't know if I am. Max Clare I like. Jake Tonjes, as George Kittle is dealing with injury, I like. Michael Trigg I like. So, but you know what? Let's go KC Concepcion. We're double dipping a little bit on the Browns, but I like KC Concepcion. I think he was drafted like 24 overall by the Browns. Yeah, I'm really interested in him. I think we'll see how he looks. Heard he was an electric kick return, punt returner in college. So should your league score that, I think he's going to be a really great value, especially in these later rounds. And then I don't really have too many running backs. Yeah, I only have 3, so I really should start taking more shots here. Um, yeah, really, really tough stuff. Don't really want Dylan Sampson. Don't really want to do Kamara. Yeah, especially with that. Um, but should, should he could play second fiddle. I think it would be totally fine. Yeah, especially if he does sort of check down to Kamara. He is a little bit older. Let's just go Kamara. All right, and then let's go Chris Rod because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let's get a final wide receiver. Could do Denzel Boston, like Antonio Williams, like Matthew Golden. A lot of good options here. But let's go Zachariah Branch. I've been drafting him quite a bit. All right. So that is going to be it. So if we just take a quick look at everyone's teams, discounting this because this doesn't really matter. Bijan, Bowers, Rice, Williams, Scat, Caleb in the 6, really good. Son, Parker Washington, Jordan Addison, Kenyon Sadiq. Don't really love the double tight ends. Don't really see the point. Same thing with the double QBs. Jordan Love, not really understanding. Rashad White, Tyreek Hill. I think this is a really good team. Love the value on White. Love Parker Washington. Love Bijan and Bowers. Think that's a really strong start. Don't love the double QB and don't love Tyreek. No point. But I mean, I guess it's the same thing with me and Kamara. Gibbs, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Travion, McLaurin, BTJ, Tucker Craft, Ricky Pearsall, Quentin Johnston, James Conner, Jalen Coker, AJ Barner. This team is a little bit more interesting, very running back heavy, but Jameer Gibbs and Chase Brown, they catch a lot of passes. Josh Jacobs is a little bit older, and Travion, I'm not sold on, but I sort of understand here. Terry, I like. I think he's going to have a nice bounce back. They're really banking on BTJ having a big bounce back as well. I think they could have gone like maybe Marv in that spot instead of BTJ, but or Wandale if they wanted to do that as well. Tucker Craft coming back from injury. Love Dak Prescott in the eighth. Think that's a really good value. I love Dak, Brock, Jared Goff. Those are my big quarterback. My big quarterback. I just completely forgot that I took Justin Herbert. I guess that's what happens. But these are my late round quarterbacks I like a lot. Stafford too. Bo Nix monitor, and then Baker Mayfield was going here. Now he's going here. There's so much volatility with him, but I think it's a good value. And then these two are good values too. Yeah, Team 3 has a really strong start. Jamar Chase, Neighbors, A.J. Brown, Zay Flowers, and Devonta Smith. Especially if A.J. Brown gets traded, then he has a 1. He has 5 ones in a row. Really strong. And those running backs are pretty weak. Monungai, Dobbins, and then double dip with Coleman, and then he double dip tight end as well. Just okay. All right. So I think, yeah, Team 3 I like a lot. Uh, or Team 4, excuse me. Um, don't love DK, but in the sixth, we just don't know what he's going to be like with Rodgers again. He wasn't particularly amazing last year, but it is what it is. Maybe he did better than I thought in full PPR. Team 5, Puka, George Pickens. Love the King here. Lad McConkey. Don't love Harvey. Again, don't love the double quarterback, even though I didn't myself. And then their running back room is okay. I like Tajay Spears. I like Chuba. Kyle Pitts and Kittle is good. Then we have our team. Obviously, I didn't mean to go double quarterback. Sort of forgotten that, taking Justin Herbert a couple rounds before. In Jared Goff's place, I would have probably taken maybe Pittman. Yeah, maybe Pittman. Maybe Kenny Gainwell. Yeah, Kenny Gainwell, Jadarian Price. I could see that being. I love Kenny Gainwell this year. Team 7, little weak on the wide receiver front. Chris Olave, Jordan Tyson, Michael Wilson. Who knows what Michael Wilson's going to look like with Marvin Harrison coming back to the forefront, especially because he was picked before Harrison. Yeah, his end of the season was pretty crazy. He exploded. But what's going to happen if Jacoby Brissett doesn't play? New coaching staff. Who's to say? This team 8 went running back heavy early, Josh Allen, so they sort of anchored, and then they got, I would say, some pretty decent values. Waddle, Moore, and Watson. Makai Lemon, again, really banking on the A.J. Brown trade. Sam Laporta, I like a lot. Pittman, I like. Shakira, I don't love in fantasy, but I think it's totally viable to pick him. Team 9, I love with James Cook, Achane, Brees Hall. They all catch passes. Drake May, Egbuka, Fannin, Harrison, Godwin. Don't love the Godwin, Egbuka stack, but it is what it is. I do think Stephon Diggs is going to be a really good value, especially later in drafts if he signs with the Ravens or the Chiefs or whoever. Tyrone Tracy, Worthy, Murray. This team is okay with Jefferson, Tate. Don't really love Williams, Monty. Etienne is okay. Kenny Walker's good. Don't love Travis Hunter. Josh Downs is fine. This team had a really good start with Lamb, London, went Kyron Williams, which I think is totally fine. Taking the upside swing on Luther Burden. We will see in training camp how he does. Tyler Warren I like. DeAndre Swift is okay. Jackson Dart I like for an upside. Jacoby Myers I think is going to be somewhere in between BTJ and Parker Washington. Brian Robinson I don't like at all. Jane Higgins I like as a good value. Zach Charbonnet I don't like. you shouldn't draft him. He's injured. Rashid Shaheed is okay. And then the final team is fine. Ashton Gentile, Marion Hampton, Bucky Irving is a solid running back start. Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans. I like Mike Evans a lot. Garrett Wilson, a little iffy on, but fine. Two, and I'm not sold on, but pretty good. Like Kincaid, like Staff. Don't love the double tight end with Andrews. Jawan Jennings, don't draft him. He's just the wide receiver three. In Minnesota, Ja'Cory Crosky Merritt in the 12th is really good. Omar Cooper I like. So, with that being said, if you enjoy this mock draft, give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.